It's going to be a future billionaire who
Facts.
is literally just by himself, no employees.
I think it's extremely
nothing.
feasible.
I'm Darian. I'm a PhD candidate in computer science at Cornell University, and my background is in computer science, mathematics, and artificial intelligence. And I've been contemplating artificial intelligence since 2015.
That right there is crazy, bro. Because,
Yeah.
nowadays, everybody's an AI expert.
If you've never used AI, you're at 0%. Any AI you use is going to look like magic. You're going to get benefit from it.
Some people, they tell chat everything.
Absolutely. Companies be like, your data is protected. I don't care what
Yeah.
y'all say. We can look at that data, and even if it's encrypted, we have some insight into that data. But I always tell people that AI isn't here to replace you. It's here to recruit you. I said it was going to take us 10 minutes to build the website. It got done in 6, and we used the last 4 minutes to just play around.
Shoot the shit, yeah.
But previously, they can get you a website in 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
Now with AI blurs those lines.
If you're looking to learn how to use AI to grow your business, if you're looking to use AI growing your income and all of that good stuff in the next coming years, this is the podcast that you want to tune into, because today we get the chance to interview a gentleman by the name of Darian, where he is literally in the fields and he's been new about this AI game for the past decade. So
Literally.
I want to pick this man's brain, because wishing for AI to happen and it's finally in reality.
What's going on, family? It's Ayo and Cody, and today's episode is sponsored by Mailbox Millionaire Academy, the #1 credit and business buying mentorship in the country. Mailbox Millionaire Academy teaches high-level entrepreneurs and first-time business owners how to buy small, profitable businesses that already work. Businesses with systems, cash flow, and real customers already in place. And the best part about it is, if you don't have the money, you can use creative financing strategies you'll get inside the academy. Let's be real, y'all. Most people want to get into commercial real estate, but they don't want to deal with tenants, trash, and toilets. That's exactly why you need to understand self-storage facilities, the #1 performing real estate-based business model in the country. With self-storage, you get appreciation, the value goes up, you get equity, ownership, and monthly cash flow. But the best part about it, without tenants living in your property.
And here's the wild part. 90% of businesses fail within the first 10 years. Self-storage has a 92% success rate. Most people also think that, hey, listen, in order for me to get started, I need a lot of money. And I'm here to tell you guys that is absolutely false, because my guy Ramel Newworlds, the lead instructor at Mailbox Millionaire Academy, literally teaches people how to buy their first self-storage business with little to no money out of pocket. And right now, he's giving away a free intensive training. All you have to do is text the word motion, so that's MOTION, to the number 347-429-6496 to get instant access. Again, text the word motion, so that's MOTION, to the number 347-429-6496, and tell them, listen, you came from the Motion and Success family, so that way he can bless you guys. Let's get back to this episode, because this one is going to be a banger. All right, y'all, so welcome back to another episode of Motion and Success. Listen, guys, my name is Cody Brown, and I got my co-host with me today.
It's Ayo, and bro, we back with another episode. Yo, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We took like a little break, but we're back with amazing content, great quality guests, and today's going to be a little different.
I agree. So listen, today is going to be one of those ones where we're going to be discussing exactly how to start using artificial intelligence. Yes, like artificial intelligence is something that has been around for, a few years, but honestly and truly, it's developing very, very fast. And it's important to actually know how these things are built. So like, if you're looking to learn how to use AI to grow your business, if you're looking to use AI, as far as like growing your income and all of that good stuff in the next coming years, this is the podcast that you want to tune into, because today we get the chance to interview a gentleman by the name of Darian, where he is literally in the fields and he's been new about this AI game for the past decade. So
Literally.
I want to pick this man's brain, because he said he's been, wishing for AI to happen, and it's
Yeah.
finally in reality. So
Yeah.
Darian, go
Yeah.
ahead and introduce yourself, man. Tell the people who you are, how you help the people, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So, and if I start to nerd out, stop me. But I'm Darian. I'm a PhD candidate in computer science at Cornell University, and my background is in computer science, mathematics, and artificial intelligence. And like Cody said, I've been contemplating artificial intelligence since 2015. This is no exaggeration. And I can go into more details if you like right now. But in 2014, I started at Morehouse College in undergrad, and I was a physics major. But Google had this inaugural program where they were teaching computer science to HBCU students in an effort to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion, because that was big during that time. So I ended up taking a computer science course, ended up taking the Google interviews and passing and getting an internship at Google's headquarters in Mountain View, California. So I go to Google from Atlanta, Georgia. I move all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to Google or to California for a 3-month internship. And I do an internship with the Chromecast team. Chromecast is no longer around, to my understanding, but I do a 3-month internship with Google. And I come back and I'm like, this computer science stuff is going to change my life one day. And what led to artificial intelligence, if I can be a bit more succinct, is when I got back, I was writing code and I was making mistakes. And I was like, how do I write code that fixes my mistakes? And I talked to my professor, and that's when he let me know that you're thinking about the field of artificial intelligence. So 2015 is when I started thinking about getting involved in artificial intelligence, and I've been on it ever since then. So I'm really excited with where we're at today. Didn't know this was going to happen this soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's that right there is crazy, bro. And then the fact that you mentioned that you're a PhD student, studying AI, like that's crazy because nowadays everybody's an AI expert.
Facts.
They know 1, 2, 3 tools, and they're on the internet and they're talking about AI, but it's different when you actually go to school for it.
Yeah.
And you're really studying it and you're creating apps, like you mentioned coding.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's really different. And I kind of want to jump into a little bit, just real quick, the backstory, like what led you into tech, and what kind of brought you into that field of started building apps and all of these things.
Yeah, so I think it's 2-part. So my father, he retired from Intel. He was an electrical engineer, but he ended up going into sales. But he never told me about technology growing up. I think he wanted me to kind of discover what I wanted to do on my own. And when I went to college after doing that internship at Google, I started thinking about how do I actually go from, like, if you look at your phone, your device, if I can pull it out very quickly, I'm like, how do you go from something that's represented on your screen to something functioning underneath the hood? Because there's a whole bunch of devices in here that enable, if I tap this button, something, if I connect it to like a doorbell, that doorbell can ring. Like, how does that even function? So I just got naturally curious about if anything has electricity running through it. You mean if I learn how to code, I can control that? And it sounds like I'm being a power freak. Maybe I was, but I was like, I'm gonna need to learn a little bit more about this whole computer science stuff. So I think if that answers the question, that's kind of like what got me involved in this space.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people, like, growing up, I definitely did want to get into tech. Because my favorite part about it was you get to create. Like, it's some people who are in tech and they're working for these big companies, but it's different when you're actually creating something of your own, and you're out here, off camera, you're going to probably speak on it a little bit more. Yeah. But right now, like, you're creating an app right now with AI. Yeah. From scratch.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to geek out because seriously, because what I'm working on right now is Technically Fit. And this is the operating system for human performance. We're still developing the application right now. But the reason I'm geeking out is because for me, I think front-end development is the hardest thing to do. How do you actually create a product that looks enticing so when people look at it, they enjoy their experience? Mathematically speaking, that's not the hardest thing. The hardest thing is what's happening behind the scenes. But that's how my brain works. So the things that are happening behind the scenes are easy for me. The things that are happening in front of the user, that's hard for me. I was trying to get so many people to help me build out this product, but they didn't have the same vision I had for it. Every time I talk about it, they think it's just a fitness app. I'm like, well, that's how we kind of want to start off. But my vision for the world is to create something
that is the operating system for human performance, and it sounds vague.
Sorry to break the interview, but really not sorry to break the interview, because listen, over the past few months, we've been testing out this one system that has been a complete game changer for us and our business. So now is the best time for us to bring it to you guys. And the name of the system is called Go High Level. Go High Level is an all-in-one marketing tool that you're going to be able to use to grow your business. Listen, we're not only just podcasters, but we're also business owners as well. So if you're a business owner, you're looking to grow your business online, just like how we're doing the same thing, you need to have a way on how you're going to be able to text your people. You need a way on how you're going to be able to email your people. You need a way how to go out there and build your funnels, your websites, and everything that you have to use to grow your online business. Go High Level is literally that one tool that you would have to use. So all of the other subscriptions that you have, you can go ahead and cancel them right now, because Go High Level does everything that you need as an online business owner.
All in one tool. You literally don't need any other CRM system, any other automation. Go High Level is the one tool that you need. Enough said, man. Click the link down below to start your free trial. Listen, it's on us.
We begged our Go High Level people for this one, by the way.
Yup. So click the link down below, start your free trial, and start organizing your business so that way you can get more customers, increase revenue, and more deposits to your business account. Back to the episode, y'all.
But now with AI, and again, I'm working on the copy for that, but now with AI, I can create stunning visuals without having to hire somebody else. I can look at a design, I can use AI, and I say, hey, copy this design for me. Structurally, how did it actually implement this visual representation here? How did it do this animation? And now can you copy that and bring that into my product? So if you go to technicallyfit.com, that whole website was built using AI. I just set up the backend infrastructure, and I spoke to my AI agent and said, make me something. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
I was like, make me something that looks visually. I'm gonna hold off on the cussing for a minute. It's too early. It's too early. But shit. But jokes aside, I told it to make something visually pleasing, and I'm trying not to nerd out too much, but I want to so bad because I don't usually have too many people to talk about this stuff with. But that's what I'm building right now. So sorry if I was all over the place. I'm having a hard time being a human and being an AI, because my friends call me an AI, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but also one thing I did want to ask too was, you've seen this AI stuff, 10 years prior.
Yeah.
Like, that was not even a conversation back then. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't even something that people would even think about, What did you see about like artificial intelligence that the rest of the world probably didn't even think about or even see?
So what we have today, these large language models, people were thinking about language models, but we didn't have the compute capacity.
What do you mean language model? What do you mean?
So ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, these are called large language models.
Okay.
But in the media, people just call them AI. So that's one specific field of AI. Large language models require a lot of computers working together in order to achieve some objective. We didn't have the compute infrastructure for that a few years ago. Now we do. So when I got exposed to artificial intelligence, I was thinking about relatively simple things. How do I actually make a program that's capable of correcting itself? How do I actually make a program that can learn from data intelligently? So instead of me explicitly writing the code that says, if you see this particular ball moving like this, then you should punch the ball because you want the ball to go that way. Well, what if you just gather data about how the ball is moving, and you gather data about how robots' arms are moving, and you train an algorithm on that data, and you let the algorithm identify how it should move? Like, that's the type of machine learning and artificial intelligence that I was thinking of. What we have today, this is truly novel because we have the compute infrastructure to support these massive workloads. And now it's creating something that seems like human intelligence when it's not.
Yeah. Makes sense. I see where you're coming from. And before we jump into a little bit about your app, I definitely want to know your take on today's AI technology. Like, being that you're really like in the fields of AI, I was even shocked to see Google be over dethroned like that.
Yeah.
Like, I never really thought I see in a million years I see Google losing its place in the power rankings when it comes to search engine. But now it seems like everyone is using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
From your point of view, is ChatGPT, do you think it's something that it's going to dominate the AI industry, being that it did sort of have a little bit of a head start?
My man. He's like, don't ask me that question. Now.
But there's not too many people who look like us who are in this space. So y'all are asking me questions that I'm more than happy to answer.
Yeah.
But imagine being in a space where people don't look like you. And then I work out a lot. So people keep asking me, am I an athlete? Yeah, kind of. But my nigga, I want to talk about math. I want to nerd out with y'all too. So that's why I'm getting a little excited. So forgive me if I get a little bit too excited. But you were saying about ChatGPT and then it being overthrowing Google and
do you see it holding that top spot? Do you, because you probably work with various tools.
Hell yeah.
Is there anything better than ChatGPT that most people are sleeping on right now, or you think ChatGPT got it for now?
So there are two ways of answering this. There is something better than ChatGPT if you're thinking about a specific task that you want to achieve. So when it comes to coding, my model of choice is Claude. I paid $200 a month for their coding agent in particular. I paid $200 just for the coding model. This has nothing to do with anything else except coding. That's what I spend $200 on. So if you're asking the question of, is there another model out there that's better at doing some specific task than ChatGPT? Absolutely. But if the question is, for somebody who's just now getting exposed to artificial intelligence, are there models out there that are going to do better than what ChatGPT could do for me? Maybe, maybe not. But if you're new to AI, starting off with ChatGPT is a wonderful place to start, because all of these large language models, they're converging to like the same space of computation. So one might be 2% better than the other. But if you've never used AI, you're at 0%. Any AI you use is going to look like magic. You're going to get benefit from it. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about, are there products out there better than ChatGPT? Yes, but no, if you're new to AI, just get started.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And then what I'm hearing now too is like, they're like, it's going to be a future a billionaire who is literally just by himself, no employees.
I think it's extremely feasible. I've been pontificating on this for quite some time. And you think about Instagram, when Instagram sold to Facebook, 12 employees, $1 billion company.
Wow.
This was pre-AI, 2012. Yeah. I might be off by a year or two. Y'all can fact check me. But 2012, 12 employees sold for $1 billion. 2026, 14 years later, worth of innovation, and now we have these large language models. Maybe one might not be the number, but two or three. You get 2 or 3 people together who are you get an extremely brilliant person at AI. You get an extremely brilliant person at business. Yeah. And you get an extremely brilliant person at marketing. Okay. You combine those 3 people together and you teach them how to utilize AI, not only for their workflow, but for the other person's workflow. So that when you do something in marketing or you do something in business, I can communicate with you because I have an AI that can teach me what you're doing. And then I can kind of like fact check you, not disrespectfully, but just to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's. And now you can fact check me on my technology development. Because before that was the divide. You know tech, I don't know tech. How do we communicate if you've never written a line of code? Right. Now with AI blurs those lines. You can speak to the AI and say, can you make sense of what this person in business is doing to me and teach me as somebody who's a technology expert? Right. So I think it's feasible. I'm going to be excited to figure out who's the first one.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm hearing about it. I'm like, a billionaire with no employees, just all AIs. Like, it's crazy.
Here's a different perspective. Maybe it's a billionaire with several thousand employees, because a computer, these devices, how many apps can your phone run at once? Yeah, hundreds, thousands. You have access to an AI tool. How many AIs can you run at once? Yeah, hundreds, thousands. So is it really a one-person company? Maybe it's a 1,000-person company. It's just a different way of thinking about it. That's how I look at it.
Right. Yeah. So I do want to mention, now that you mentioned in Facebook, I mean, I think earlier this year, Facebook had like a huge layoff where they laid off like hundreds. I don't know how much, but they laid off a good amount of people from, their company. And it kind of shook the world up, because like, Facebook is one of the biggest companies out there, especially when it comes to, like social media, marketing, things like that. Like social, like Facebook is one of them ones. When it comes to using AI, like how can I have like, where can I go? Where do I start with when it comes to having like my first AI agent or AI employee? Because, you know, like they say humans are very lazy. You know, they take time off from work. The emotions call out. You know, they got the emotions. Right now it's snowing outside. It's almost like a blizzard.
Yeah.
Hey, boss, I can't come to work today. You know what I mean? But the AI is going to show up.
Facts.
Like, what will be like the first few steps to be able to like put an AI employee in your business, I would say?
Yes. So, and if it's okay, I have an assessment on my website for people who want to figure out how they can incorporate artificial intelligence into their business. So if you go to Darian.ai and you just fill out the assessment, I will be in touch with you to answer that question specifically for you and your business. But how I use it in my business, I use Notion. I don't know if you've heard of Notion. Or if you're familiar with this. I organize all the companies I'm working on right now. Even my life, my PhD work is organized in Notion because they have a nice AI feature that looks at all of the context of the things that you're working on, and you can speak to it and it's going to answer based on that context. So think ChatGPT, but a more comprehensive, organized workspace. And I'm more than happy to show you a few examples because I was showing Cody a demo of some stuff before we started this conversation.
But definitely would want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to jump into your app, but I did have one more thought too.
Yeah.
So, because most people, they're going to watch this, right? And I'm pretty sure at this point, everyone's using AI.
Facts. Hopefully.
Yeah, that is true. And still some people under that rock that they still don't got ChatGPT. They still don't have none of these apps. They're still kind of still skeptical, right?
Yeah.
But some people, they have a reason to be skeptical. A lot of people, they're thinking about their data, right? You know, some people, they tell Chat everything. And even Elon Musk said something that it kind of made me think. And he actually, I don't know if he always looks into the future, but he seems like he's a little bit, like he's excited. Like, of course, he wants to dominate that field, but he's seeing something. He's like, yo, AI is kind of scary. Like, like he's saying that it can really, really get very scary. And I don't know what he's seeing. Maybe human robots, maybe like
they already got them.
Yeah, but on like another level. Like, so
on some iRobot.
Yeah. So do you think it's a good idea for people to go out and tell Chat every single thing, the address, when they're sick, when they're feeling better, you know, little details about themselves? And what do you think that they're doing with all this data?
Absolutely not. I'm not gonna hold you.
Absolutely not. It's not a good idea.
I personally, even if a company, I've done work at AMD, LinkedIn, IBM, Adobe, and Google. All them companies be like, your data is protected. I don't care what y'all say. We can look at that data. A human's gonna look at that data at some point, and even if it's encrypted, we have some insight into that data. And I might not know it's you specifically, but the things that you can see through Google search history, they know what types of things. There's a reason you can search something. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy on the podcast, but there's a reason you can search something crazy on Google. Like, I want to do something to some particular person in a way that's not favorable for their life, and that person will be God, if that makes sense. I want to be careful with my language. These companies can see your data. So if you're on Chat and you're being very intimate with it, if that's you, do you. Me personally, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to finish answering your question from before.
Yeah.
I don't see a future where, I don't want a future where we're using AI to replace employees. Because I'm thinking about AI as this collaborative tool. So I always tell people that AI isn't here to replace you, it's here to recruit you. So if you utilize AI effectively, you got to think about, what are your 1 to 3 core competencies? So I think my 1 to 3 core competencies are mathematics, computer science, software engineering. And again, artificial intelligence falls under that computer science and software engineering umbrella. How do I utilize artificial intelligence to help me get better at those 1 to 3 core competencies? And then how do I use it in other areas where I don't care if I get better at it or not? Sales. Do I need to get better at sales? Yes. Do I care? A little bit. But if I can use AI to teach me how to get better at sales, I'm going to use AI how to teach me. I'm going to use AI to teach me how to get better at sales. And maybe sales wasn't the best example because you do need to know how to speak to people.
Right.
But you can think about like marketing content or generating digital assets. You don't want to have to go learn Adobe Illustrator
Yeah.
and make an asset from scratch. In fact, can I show you some
Yeah.
assets I generated for Technically Fit, just to show you visually on the website?
Yeah.
Because I wanted different assets of photorealistic athletes, but I didn't want to have to hire somebody and take a picture of them. So I generated these digital assets using artificial intelligence. And they look like real people, but they're not going to be like, you can't use my image. It's not a real person. I can use that. It was generated with AI. And it adds to the aesthetic of my site without me having to go find athletes and do a photo shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I want to jump into the app, to Technically Fit, but you mentioned something just now, and it kind of brings me back to this, because the way how we living right now, and it was so funny. Yesterday, I was on Instagram and I seen this guy. He took a picture of him, and it was Bernice Burgos, and he had like literally a whole slide deck of pictures of him and this girl, and it's like, they loved up, they cuffed up. I went to this dude's page. I'm like,
So that
shit ain't real, bro. And then I'm looking in the comments. Everybody's like, congrats. And then some people was like, AI. And I'm like, wait, bro, it looked too good.
Yeah.
So now my question is like, for example, like, when it comes to like crime and when it comes to like people out there committing like all kinds of crime and stuff, like where do you see that world going? You know what I mean? Because I feel like there may be situations where, that may not have been me, but I'm about to face, a little time because of AI, Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Damn, that was novel. I'd been focusing on all the benefits. I hadn't thought about, damn, I see how these tech folk be getting, okay. That's
crazy.
Because people may commit certain crimes. And it's like, that
like,
wasn't me.
Even me,
and
I'm
it may
thinking
be
about
on camera.
Bro, I was playing with the Sora app one day, and I'm just like, I'm giving it prompts. I'm just like, because it told me to scan my face and everything.
Got him.
And yeah, so I'm over here, I'm playing with the app, and I'm like,
so you scanned your face?
Yeah, I did.
Let me hit up Sam right now.
And I'm over here like typing prompts. I'm like, yo, just me getting arrested and this. And then I actually typed it in, and it really did a whole video, cops coming in, like opening your door. And then I had like sent it over to like, it's like a family group chat. And my mom actually believed it.
Wow.
Like, what happened? And I'm like, what the hell? And, I was like, wait, this is actually kind of scary, bro.
It is.
And people are online monetizing that content.
Yeah.
Like, people are online making skits using Sora all day long, or tricking like a whole bunch of people into believing that, they with this celebrity, that celebrity. And it gets scary, bro.
I thought it was real. And to add on to that too, like, we got a friend, like, he literally, he's in the podcast space as well.
Yeah.
And he was like showing us like, yo, bro, like, I found a new AI software that's going to help me to be able to create course content. And I'm looking at the video. I'm like, bro, this don't sound like you. It looks really good. It looks like he's in a studio, setup is all clean. And I'm like, bro, it don't sound like you. Is this you? It looked like you, but I don't know if that's you. And then he's like, nah, like, that's an AI. Let me put you on. So, and he used his whole AI to create like a whole course format. So I say that to say, like, I feel like it could get scary when it comes to using AI, so it's like more of like, use it wisely or use it at your own discretion. But like, I just wanted to ask you as an AI expert,
Yeah. I think my use of AI has always come from a place of curiosity, because I'm trying to figure out how can I advance my own understanding of the world, and how do I create things that I think other people should experience in this world, which is why I'm building Technically Fit. But I'm not trying to utilize AI to extort people, or I'm not trying to utilize AI to deprecate myself, to say, okay, now AI is just doing all the work and I can just kick back and enjoy life. I think that'd be a very boring life. I want to continue to pursue the things I want to pursue, but leverage AI to take me further. But the one you mentioned about leveraging it for bad, for ill intent, that one actually made me pause. Like, I don't quite know. I'm going to think about that afterwards, but I don't quite know how we mitigate those issues.
Yeah.
Because I can see my grandmother getting extorted.
Yeah, that's one thing. And then being that, I'm even thinking too, because I'm like, all right, yeah, Sora, you know, it might look a little fake here and there, but they're starting from somewhere. It's only gonna get more realistic.
Crazy.
And it's gonna look crazy. So it's like it's
only
wild.
gonna get better.
Do you
Yeah.
last thing on this subject, do you think because right now all these countries they're trying to dominate this AI. You got China going hard, US going hard, you know, and all these other countries, they're really trying to dominate that AI space.
Yeah.
Do you believe putting a cap on AI, like the innovation when it comes to AI technology is needed, especially for things like we just mentioned, or you think like right now it's just who could create the most innovative thing right now with AI?
I think we do need some type of policy regulation. And I have a friend who finished her PhD at Cornell who does work in this space.
Yeah.
Could I say her name?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Chinasa Okolo. So she's a phenomenal person. But what you'll notice is that the rate at which artificial intelligence moves is so much quicker, orders of magnitude quicker than the rate at which policy develops, that trying to put a cap on something that's innovating on a weekly basis, damn near, how do you do that? It's like, do y'all watch basketball?
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is one of my favorite players. And somebody talked about watching Kyrie Irving play. They're like, how do you try to guard his next move when he's thinking about it in the moment? He's about to do something he's never thought of before. So if he's never thought of it before, you can't even anticipate how to guard it because he's innovating in the moment on you. That's how crafty his handle is. That's why nobody can guard Kyrie Irving. Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I think about artificial intelligence. And it's a weird analogy to map basketball to AI.
Yeah.
But that's how I'm thinking about AI. It's moving so quickly that unless we say, let's just stop all development and really get like serious about how this is going to affect humanity, I don't see us effectively managing the negative side effects as well as the positive side effects. And to put a cap on that, Martin Luther King, one of my favorite idols, he has a quote that says, "Time is neutral. It can either be used constructively or destructively." That applies to artificial intelligence as well. It can either be used constructively, which is what I vouch for, or destructively, which is what you'll see some people using Sora for.
Yeah. Wow. That's what I'm thinking. It's like how you use it. It just depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
And you know, you say using a fitness background.
Yeah.
So with the app you're creating now, because I do want to jump into the app a little bit, you know, because a lot of people there, like right now, health and wellness is big.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for a way to track calories, control their sleep. Like Cody has the he don't got it on today,
The Oura Ring?
but the
Whoop
band.
Yeah.
All of these apps just to really like take care of their health.
Yeah.
Where do you come in with your app, and what made you think about that idea?
Yeah. So if I can start from the original origin story, in 2018, I was working at Adobe Research, and every day during lunch, I would go to the gym instead of having lunch with my team. And it got to a point where my team started to ask me, "Darian, where are you going for lunch?" And I'm like, "I'm going to the gym." Because we're
upstairs.
I'm trying to we're like literally sitting down all day, unlimited snacks, they buy our food, and we're coding. I'm like, that's bad for our health. I know it is, because I'm a former athlete and my body's like, why are you sitting down for 4 hours on end? So I told them I'm going to the gym to work on my body because I'm sitting down all day. And the idea for Technically Fit started off as, how do I make sure that I'm in this space where everybody is extremely smart, they're technically competent, but how do I actually make sure I maintain physically fit? And then I just combined the two terms together, technically fit. And I was like, oh, that's actually a double entendre, because all I need to do is like the bare minimum in the gym to remain technically in shape.
Yeah.
And that gives me more time to study my math and computer science, and I can become more mentally fit.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I like that. Wasn't thinking about creating an app or doing none of that. Started my PhD program, and that was an ordeal in and of itself. Like just the level of complexity of starting a PhD program, wasn't prepared for it. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I maintain my active lifestyle, but also
Still.
get a PhD, consistently tired. trying to figure out how do I come out with workouts that don't tire me out? And then how do I actually eat appropriately so that I can sustain my energy throughout the day and I don't just eat this big meal and get the itis. I was really confused about how to do that. Long story short, I ended up writing a personalized workout algorithm to solve the workout portion for me. I won't get too much into the details, but it started off as me saying, if I want to work on this particular muscle group and minimize my fatigue while maintaining muscle development, what do I need to do in order to achieve that? So that was the origin story behind Technically Fit. And I know I've been rambling for quite a bit to bring it back to your question. What I'm working on now is you have all these devices. I even have my Apple Watch. I used to have a Fitbit. My buddy had a Whoop. He got rid of it. Now he has an Oura Ring. We've experimented with a lot of nutrition, supplementation, physical devices. And he's an athlete as well. He runs marathons. All these devices give you data, but none of them give you actionable insight that says, Darian, based on your conditioning for the past 2 weeks and the fact that you've let me know that your left knee is a little bit fatigued, your patella might be inflamed. So we think that you should deload for 2 days. And when you get back, walk on a treadmill. That's a very specific regimen that my personal trainers have recommended to me. And I've worked with 3 personal trainers and I wanted to get my own personal training license, which is what I got through the National Academy of Sports Medicine to figure out what is it like to be a trainer and what is it like to be trained. But the regimens that we recommend are very specific. We live, and I'll wrap this up in 10 seconds. We live in today's day and age where we have enough data and we have enough infrastructure to provide that personalized recommendation for you, and for me, which is why I'm calling it the operating system for human performance.
I like the idea. Like, I like the mission and the idea of where you're heading with the business, because it kind of reminds me like, you know, like using AI and using it to be able to use it personally to you. You know what I mean? Like my body type might be completely different from somebody else's. And that's what I've heard from like a lot of different, for example, like marketing things like, and like, hey, listen, keto may not work, you know, it's this, you know, fasting is not, you know, something you can sustain for too long. Yeah. Like, so it really just works for a specific person in their lifestyle. So that sounds good. Yeah. As far as like with the actual AI, like, is it like trainers in there, like AI trainers? Like what's inside of it?
So my goal, and if you go to technicallyfit.com, you can go ahead and sign up to be one of the early beta users. But my goal is to create something that keeps the human in the loop, because I'm a trainer. I want to work with my clients, so I don't want to get rid of myself. And the idea is, have you heard of a marketplace economy? Yeah. Think about like, eBay, Airbnb. Okay. So you have a two-sided economy where you have producers and you have consumers. In order for that economy to exist, there has to be enough producers so the consumers can buy stuff, but there also has to be enough consumers so the producers can produce things and they transact with one another. So Airbnb, the producer, is the person who puts their home up on Airbnb. The consumer are people like us who go into that home and they stay there for a few days. Right. Airbnb sets up a platform to facilitate that interaction, and they take a small fee for facilitating that interaction. And they don't own anything. You can do the same thing with personal training and performance goals for any arbitrary sport and for any arbitrary coach. You have coaches that have knowledge, and you have athletes and individuals who want that knowledge. Yeah. How do you create a platform that provides them with tools so that coaches can create that program if they want to create something highly specialized for you? And the athlete doesn't want to work with you at your bespoke price of $2,000, but they want that knowledge. They can purchase your program for, say, $50 because that's all they can afford. Right. But if you have the capacity demand, maybe they want to work with you directly and they reach out to you and say, hey, I'd like to work with you specifically. How do you create an economy that facilitates those interactions? Yeah. And the idea when I say an operating system for human performance, if we do that right, then you start bringing on nutritionists, then you start bringing on physical therapists, then you start bringing on doctor. You kind of get like the whole health ecosystem. And that's why this heart motif is the logo. Everything related to the body starts at the heart. Right. So that's.
I really like the idea of thinking about it. Because I remember when I was trying to get like fitness apps, I had to download one app for nutrition, get another app for workouts. And it was just kind of all over the place. You know what I mean? So having everything on one app is a little bit different
with the human in the loop still.
Yeah. So where does the AI come in? Like is it studying your habits? Is it, because everybody's body is a little bit differently. Like some people have a hard time losing weight, some people have a hard time gaining weight.
Yeah.
Some people was really horrible at dieting. It's like different. And then some people have injuries and things that limit their, movement. So where does the AI come in providing these people with, solutions or, help?
Yeah. And this is where I have to do a better job at explaining the product, because there are two ways that AI can come in. The first way is AI is helping me build out the product, which doesn't have the AI offering immediately. Then the second aspect of AI is I have a deterministic system, because the human body is well understood in terms of like your joints, your anatomy, your physiology. That's well understood. If your knee's hurting, it's probably something related to your calves, your tibialis, your quadriceps, or your hamstrings, or your patella. It's something.
Yeah. Something is there
right here. Yeah. It's not because your neck, like maybe something in your neck leads to something in your shoulder, but it's more than likely related to something right here. So what I've developed right now is a deterministic system that takes input from users, objective input about what they're doing with their body. And it's a little bit vague right now, but what they're doing with their body, because I don't want to get into the mathematical specification. Well, I do want to get into the mathematical specification, but I got to be cognizant of who my audience is. No, and that's no disrespect to the audience, but it's.
It gets complicated.
Hit me up if you want to talk math. Yeah. If you want to talk math or computer science, hit me up. I'm more than happy to nerd out. But the human body is pretty well determined. So I have a deterministic system right now that takes your subjective input and your objective input. I did a leg press for 12 reps. That's objective data. You measure that, cool. But my knee feels a little bit funny. Subjectively, does that mean your knee hurts, or did it just... You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that subjective aspect, there's no way of mapping that to like a hard-coded science. And that's kind of where like the AI can come in and say, maybe this person has an inflamed patella. And if they do the workout again and it's still bothering them, then you can signal, hey, based on these signals that we're receiving from you, we think you might need to go see a physical therapist. Right. And if we do this right, the physical therapist exists in the whole ecosystem. And we can just flag the physical therapist and say, this client is actually
looking for service.
You just have all of that in the operating system for human performance. The same way your device gives you so much. Yeah. That's transistors, capacitors, cameras, hardware, clock. Got a whole bunch of shit in your iPhone. Yeah. But you're not thinking about that. The operating system is, but you're not. That's what we're trying to do. Right. We want to think about that because we think that's interesting. But we don't want you to think about it. Does that make? It's a hard thing for me to like.
No, you broke it down. You broke it down, and I like the idea behind the app. So, for like the user side, for like anybody who's watching this and they're like, like, I want to download this app. Like, I want to try it out.
Can I give you a quick tip on how to build wealth? I mean, take everything you think you know about investing and throw it out the window. The one skill that's holding you back isn't what you think it is. You've got the drive, you have the vision, you may even have the capital, but for some strange reason, you are still not seeing the returns that you are looking for. Sounds familiar, right? I know, I understand exactly how you feel. Because for me, it was the exact same thing. For years, I spent time buying single family houses, doing Airbnb arbitrage, renting cars on Turo, doing 7 different businesses, looking for 7 different streams of income to become a millionaire. And it was the exact opposite of what I needed to do to build true wealth. The truth is, it was my ability to find already existing cash flowing businesses that are generating money immediately. In fact, 90% of business owners fail within the first 10 years. So I was steady taking a chance of being part of that 10% to build wealth. When 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every single day, who ran businesses for 10, 20, 30 years and are looking to retire and sell those businesses directly to people like you to collect that cash flow immediately. So now you can buy those businesses for pennies on the dollar, which is why I put together my completely free workshop where I'm gonna show you my 4-step process to get access to $250,000 in funding in 90 days to invest to buy already cash flowing business. This is exactly what Cookie Robinson did by purchasing her very first cash flowing business business, a pack and ship business that is bringing in money day one, and she did it creatively with little to no money out of her pocket. This is exactly what Naya, the legacy builder, has done. She purchased a dry cleaning business utilizing creative financing. I want to teach you these exact strategies that you can implement and start making money immediately. This is the fastest way to build wealth in 2025. So I'm having a completely free training. Click this link below. I want you to register. It's time for you to build a legacy for you and your family.
What are some benefits for them? Like let's say if somebody, you know, weight loss is a big thing right now. Like everybody's trying to lose weight fast. You got Ozempic, you got all these weight loss, and then you have the people who do want to work out. Yeah, people who do want to, you know, track calories and do all these things. So how efficient, you know, would it be? I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you did like a test trial, you got numbers and things like that, but helping people hit those weight goals, like weight loss. Yeah. Like how efficient is it, and how could it really help them hit? Because, you know, most people, they're in it for themselves. They just
100%.
What can
which
this
makes sense.
Like, is this really gonna help me?
Yeah, which makes sense. And this is always the most challenging thing about doing stuff in the health and wellness space. Yeah, is because you can't sell an Ozempic. I mean, you can, but then you wouldn't be in the health and wellness space. You're selling a solution that's going to work immediately. What we're trying to provide is something that, of course, is going to take time for you to discover if this works. But the neat thing about the human body, we know what it takes to lose weight. You have to eat less than you burn. And it sounds, for the majority of people, 95% of people, we know they're like some extenuating circumstances. But for the majority of people, if you eat less and you move more, you will lose weight, period. And we can encode that in a product that makes you not have to think about that, period. Yeah. If you're somebody who wants a quick solution, I don't think the product's for you, if I'm just being straightforward and transparent. Because for me, health is something I take very seriously, because I have skinny and fat people in my family with diabetes, and I just always thought I was going to get diabetes. So then I watched a lecture, an hour and 10-minute lecture on the biochemistry of diabetes, because I want to know how I can not get this. And it turns out that one of the key factors of reducing your likelihood of getting diabetes is making sure your body is an efficient processor of glucose, which is just sugar. And your body becomes a better processor of glucose the more muscle mass you have. So it turns out that if you have more muscle mass, you can decrease your probability of getting diabetes. That one factor alone decreases your probability of getting diabetes. And I was like, that's neat. What else can the body do for me? And that's sort of like, that's just kind of where my mind goes when I'm not thinking about like AI and mathematics. I'm like, okay, I don't want to die tomorrow. How can I make sure I don't die tomorrow? And if I don't die tomorrow, I want to be able to get up. Right. How can I make sure I can get up? I need muscles in my legs. Yeah. So that's sort of where my mind goes outside of the AI stuff.
No, that's dope.
It makes sense.
Dope. Yeah. And from like a marketing standpoint for something like this, like, how what are some ways that you're putting this out there? Because I like the app. I love the idea, and I really think like it's something the world definitely does need. How does it work, especially when it comes to like the startup side of things? Like how do you go out? Because everybody got these ideas, you know, they got the MVP, all this other stuff, but how do you go out and you really like either get investors, you know, get people to really see the product? Because a lot of times just getting it out there, and then, you know, is your goal to exit? Like what is it like what's your ultimate goal with the app, and kind of like how you're gonna get people to either invest into it, take it to the next level?
Yeah, you mentioned a few key important things. In my backpack over there, I got this book on financial intelligence for entrepreneurs that I've been reading. But I'm gonna go in several different directions, but I'm pretty sure I'll answer your questions. So one direction is I've been fortunate enough to get exposed to people who have raised funding for their businesses. And I have a network of people who I can reach out to when the time is right. But something that I was sharing with Cody before we talked, right now I'm currently finishing my PhD. The other thing I'm working on is my AI and software engineering business, because that puts money in my pocket, but it's also something that I really love doing. And everything I learn in that business, I can apply to Technically Fit. Yeah. And then there's a third thing I'm working on, which is another startup, which is in a space that's tangentially related to this, but it's with a group of people who I know intimately well. So I've been working on Technically Fit in my free time right now. My go-to-market strategy is something that I've been developing with a business, a Sri Lankan business. So they reached out to me and we had a conversation, and they're developing my branding and marketing material in my pitch deck presentation. So what I'm doing with Technically Fit is I'm doing the slow roll.
Okay.
Because I've built something that works for myself. I just need to have the time to sit down and put it in an interface that works for others so I can get that market feedback.
Right.
And if the market lets me know that we don't like this idea, we think you should pivot, I'm gonna pivot.
Yeah.
And if the market says we like that idea, keep going in this direction and give me a feature that does X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna give you a feature that does X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So if I didn't have these other things on my plate, this is what I would literally spend every single week. I literally dream about this. I do. I dream about this.
Yeah.
I dream about this. I want this for the world.
That's
I
good
do.
stuff.
Because I've had people in my family die from things. I'm like, you didn't have to, I mean, you can't tell them because they're dead, but I'm like, you didn't have to die from that.
You didn't have to get
Take
there.
care of your
Right.
body. Everything you do with your body is a performance goal. And that's what Technically Fit is about. You specify a performance goal. How do we help you achieve it? But
That's definitely good
That's
stuff.
amazing. That's
So
amazing.
now, as far as like when it comes to building out the AI system, I mean, building out the app,
yeah.
before our podcast, my guy Darian went out there and just used AI to build a website for Motion and Success.
That's crazy.
How long does like, because and then you can also give the backstory on how long it used to take
Yeah.
for a website or even an app to get built. Like, how long would it take to actually build out like a system or even a software or even a website? Let's say, hey, listen, somebody come to you and they say, hey, listen, Darian, I want to actually build out the idea, like, this idea that I have, like, how long would it take?
Yeah. So let's start with the website one because that one's a bit easier to answer.
Okay.
And then the system one we can come back to because that's something that I specialize in. And right now you could use AI to help you map out systems, but AIs aren't particularly trained in thinking in systems. They're trained in thinking in language. They're large language models. Let me just produce a response that's probabilistically correct. So I'm going to start off with the website one. Nowadays, I said it was going to take us 10 minutes to build the website. It got done in 6, and we used the last 4 minutes to just play around.
Shoot the shit, yeah.
But previously, like on the order of 3 to 4 weeks, if you pay somebody a good penny and they just sit down and focus all of their time building out that website, they can get you a website in 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know what that multiplicative factor of increase is, but to go from 3 to 4 weeks to 6 minutes, it's absolutely nuts. Point blank, period. Now, when it comes to building out systems, and again, this is something that I specialize in. So if you want to go to Darian.ai, you can see some of the work that I've done. And if you want to work with me in particular, if this is okay.
Yeah.
If you want to work with me in particular, you could book a consultation call. And we do have some discount codes. So for the first 26 people who use the code MOTION, you will get a 26% discount. But if you want to think in systems, you have to actually understand what's your specific business problem. When was the last time an AI was trained on your specific business problem? Stop thinking about it. It wasn't, Cody. I wasn't
shit.
with you.
Chat every day, bro.
So chat's building up. This is the neat thing with these AI models. So there are 2 different processes. They have the training process and they have the inference process. When you're in chat, that's the inference process. So it's not trained on your company context or your business context, but it's building up some contextual awareness about what you're talking about because it has the capacity to do so. But when we talk about training, when you train the model, that's specifically saying we're going to change. I don't know if you've heard about like the weights in neural networks.
What is it?
Weights
In
neural networks. So a large language model underneath the hood is a neural network. It's just a mathematical model that represents reality in terms of language. And I do this because it's not a great model of reality.
right.
But that training process is actually what makes the model smart. You have something called a loss function and you say, here's what we care about. Here's the data. Let's train it until it satisfies this thing we care about. That's an AI model being trained on your specific information.
Makes sense.
Most of these AI models that people use, they're not trained on your specific information. They're just not. So you're not going to find an AI model that's trained specifically to solve your business context. But you can use an AI model to become aware of your business context, but still use your human thinking to figure out how to solve your problem. And that's also what I help people do too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. A quick gem I do want you to give people, because everybody's always online. They're looking for help. Is how were you able to create a website in 6 minutes? Like just give people a quick rundown on how they're able to do that.
Yeah, if you want to you can use a website like Lovable. I use a different workflow. So my workflow, I don't know what your audience is like. My workflow is like
the easiest.
Okay.
Easiest way possible. Build a website in 6 minutes.
Lovable.dev.
So what would you do?
Honestly, it's just like ChatGPT, but it gives you a nice interface on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're talking to the model, it's actually building out the website for you, and you get that visual feedback, and you can go back and forth. So this is going to be a shameless plug. The company that I like the most is Whisperflow right now. They're a dictation tool. So I speak when I'm interacting with these large language models because it's almost in the name. If you're interacting with a large language model and you're typing, slap yourself on the fingers and stop. Go download Whisperflow so you can speak orders of magnitude faster than you can type. So what this does, that's why we got it done in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
We were literally, I just double tapped a button and I spoke about, let's go ahead and build out a website for motion and success. And I want you to look at this YouTube and Instagram link just to get some context about what they do, and go ahead and build a website for us that's going to look particularly nice. This is exactly what I said. And once I finish, stop recording, press enter, submit. So lovable.dev is a good place to go, and use a dictation tool if you want to expedite your AI workflows. You don't even have to work with me. I'm going to put you on game to just expedite your AI workflows. Lovable.dev if you want to create a website. Claude Code if you want to, Claude, not Claude Code. Claude Code is for developers. Just use Claude or ChatGPT.
Okay.
And then Notion. Notion, that's free game right there. Organize all of your stuff in Notion because it already has access to these new AI models. But if you put all of your company context or whatever projects you're working on in Notion, when you start speaking, it maintains all of that additional context for you. And it has a nice feature where you can say, now help me create a new page or a content strategy and go ahead and document everything for me so that when I come back into this particular page, I see all of that. You don't get that with chat. Chat, you got to go, what was that conversation? Or you got to start a new and it's not a visual interface. Notion is a visual and text-based interface. I feel like I ran my mouth a little bit too long on those last ones, but I think those are good AI tools for people to use.
Yeah, that's game.
People are going to pick that one up for sure, especially that quick 6 minute video.
That Whisperflow is crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any advice that you would give like any business owners, just to wrap up, any advice that you give any entrepreneurs or business owners, like that are stuck in like the manual labor, doing everything the old way before pre-AI, like any advice that you would give?
Because I understand how AI works underneath the hood, one thing that I would emphasize is don't think about AI as just being this magic box that, well, it's damn near magical. I'm not even going to hold you. I should find a different way of expressing it. It's actually quite magical.
It is.
But underneath the hood, it's mathematics. And when's the last time you looked at a mathematical equation and said, man, that shit looked pretty sentient? You don't do that. You say that's kind of complex, and it might achieve something that we'd like to model, like a mathematical equation for gravity or planetary bodies orbiting around the sun. Like we might have a mathematical equation that tells us how something behaves in reality, but we don't go, that thing is intelligent, but it's approximating something that us intelligent creatures are trying to model, if that makes sense. Don't be afraid of AI. I think you should embrace artificial intelligence, but don't use it for nefarious purposes. That's definitely a no-go. Right. And if you get yourself set up with some of these AI tools, you'll find that you'll be able to expedite a lot of your workflows. And don't think about it as something that's going to replace humans. Yeah. I don't want to replace humans. I like humans. Don't want to replace humans at all.
I mean, that might be very controversial nowadays too, because like Facebook done just dropped off. And then also, I wanted to add this too. Like for example, the other day, I think out in California, you familiar with Waymo? You from Georgia? So
I skipped an interview with Waymo. Yeah.
Okay, so look.
Hopefully they don't see that.
So Waymo is basically, for the people that don't know, it's a self-driving car. Like there's no human operating the car.
Yep.
it is a computer generated AI system or whatever. And literally the other day, there was a huge traffic jam of mad Waymo cars literally just stopped in the middle of the street. Like, and then there was another video like days before, like what it does, and then people was just jumping out the car like, oh, there another one of these days. So basically the Waymo would stop in front of like one of those like those trolley trains out in California, and literally held up traffic for hours and hours and hours. Like, do you think, you know, the fact that we have self-driving cars, we got self-driving cars, we got all kinds of stuff, you know, we got everything. Like, do you think it's gonna take away like people's like humans? Because I mean, you know, people, there's cab drivers, there's people that do Uber for a living, there's people that they even if you go to Miami, they got self carts that are literally, you put the food inside of a cart, and it delivers it blocks and blocks and blocks to a person's house. Like,
it's crazy. And it just kind of reminded me too of what I heard. It was like, I think it was maybe Amazon. They were training the AI robots, and then people was like, you're actually training your replacement. But the company is incentivizing them to train these robots, and these people, they're probably getting paid high wages, but it's like, people like, yo, you're training your replacement right there. It's crazy.
Yeah. And to add on to this too now, when I was working at McDonald's, when I was in high school, that's when they just started implementing kiosk, like self-checkout for McDonald's, bro. Like, so is it really safe to say that AI won't replace us? Or based off of all these little hints and all these little things that we seeing, it's like, all right, cool, you gotta gear yourself up. What's your thoughts?
Can I answer that in two aspects?
I mean, sure.
Short time horizon and long time horizon. Short time horizon, AI isn't replacing you, it's recruiting you. That's what I'm coining. Long time horizon, be quite frank, I'm not too sure. And to answer it philosophically, because I've pontificated about this for quite some time. AI, in any human endeavor, you can do one of three things. You can say, I'm going to seek to do that endeavor worse. No human does that. No logical human seeks to do something that they want to pursue worse. Doesn't make any sense. You can seek to do that endeavor the exact same way you're doing it. Logically speaking, you only do that when you don't know how to do it better. You're just going to keep doing it the same way you're doing it. And then the final one is you want to seek to do that endeavor better. We just so happen to be in a case where seeking to do AI better is a situation where if you advance that far enough, that type of technology, doing that better, could effectively replace a lot of people. So when you do that thought experiment, philosophically speaking, I hope I'm wrong. I was talking to my roommate about this because it was like a couple of weeks where I did this thought experiment. I'm like, man, there's no point in me working. Just be transparent. I was like, Vince,
working in AI or like just working?
I was like, anything that I'm pursuing right now, if you think on a long enough time horizon, if AI is going to become the thing that people in my field are saying is going to become, why am I spending my time getting better at AI or marketing? Or like, if the thought experiment, this is where it took me. So if AI were to be that sufficiently advanced today, what would I do with my time? Like, it would replace everything that I could do because there's something that can do it better than me. So I don't know if it's fair if I'm being transparent. And of course, I still want you all to work with me because I think there's some benefit we can capture today while these tools are still here. But if I'm being transparent, I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like for AI. But I will say, if it does end up replacing me, damn, had a good run.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, my last question, bro, is just a little bit about, being black in the tech field. What are some things that you see behind the scenes? Because I'm not even gonna lie, like, I feel like it when it comes to the innovation in the world and things like that, all we really do see is like, not to say like this, but we see a lot of like Caucasian whites, dominant in the field when it comes to creating all these things. And I don't think it's a knowledge gap, but I don't know. What do you think? Like what are some things that you see behind the scenes? Being Black in the tech space.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's a knowledge gap. My experience is I hesitate to say belonging gap, but I didn't used to be like this. Like, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Before I went to Cornell, I wasn't the amount of books that I've read since I started my PhD, to me, quite frankly, is kind of absurd. And when I go home, I don't have my accent anymore. I don't sound like I'm from Atlanta anymore. Because I was balancing, I'm in a new space and I sound like I'm from Atlanta, but I also look like an athlete. But I'm like, how do I connect with these people? So it's not as simple as just saying code switching. It's almost like cultural switching. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to culturally switch so I can speak to people about mathematics and computer science. Because like growing up, my mother still doesn't know what I do things with computers. Mm-hmm. That's what she thinks I do. I mean, I do things with computers, but in general, yeah. Right? Yeah. So I think for people who look like us, when we get in those spaces, like there's a cultural difference, and it's so significant because there are not a lot of us in that space. And then when you get in that space, who is that? Why are you joining our group? Mm-hmm. You don't look like you belong here. You don't sound like you belong here. And now that you're trying to sound like you belong here, something feels off. So for me personally, it's been kind of hard to find other people to work with, to communicate with this stuff about. And I think that's a significant factor. Like, I think I would have been done with my PhD maybe 2 years ago if I had a better community of support, somebody who would just like sit down and be like, hey, Darian, I'm your, like, no disrespect to my advisor, but like, let's just sit down and do math together. Let's just nerd out together instead of like, okay, this is what you need to get done. And let me know your results 3-4 weeks from now. And I'm like, come to find out, there no shade to nobody, because I'm not complaining about life. I'm gonna figure out, and that's the resilience part kind of helps build my character too. But come to find out, there are certain people whose advisee relationships, the advisor will write a significant portion of their student's paper for them, and then let the student capture the majority of the credit. You know what? You know what that does for your career? That takes you, like, if you're a famous professor and you have a new student, your student's smart, and then you have to write papers, but you write the majority of the paper, but you let them capture the majority of the intellectual value by letting their name appear first on that changes you for better. Yeah. And I haven't had that. I'm not saying I want it, but I could just. Yeah. You asked a very deep question, and I'm trying to be succinct, but it's also making me. Yeah.
Nah, that's a good response. That's a good response. I had to ask that too, because I see it all the time, and I even seen a meme like just randomly, and it was like a guy, he was doing an interview. Maybe it was like online. It was like maybe on, I don't know if it was on Zoom, but whatever it was like more so audio than it being on video. Yeah. And he was like that he answered all the questions right. It was a meme, but yeah. Then they like, he's trying to figure out if he's black. Yeah. So,
he heard the fire alarm.
The fire alarm. Yeah. So that gave it away, but I'm like, damn, like you could do everything right and still they might not want to hire you. Just because, which is it's crazy.
And I'll give you a quick story. I know we're finishing up, and this is why I want to go all, because at this point I'm like, I've done the internships, I've proven myself not only to them, but I'm finally at a point where I'm like, I've proven myself to myself. If I find a way to be able to subsidize this and go all in on trying to provide value for other people, I'm going to spend my life working on that. I had an interview with a startup. I can pull up the LinkedIn message. The recruiter reached out to me. Don't even know y'all. Y'all reached out to me because you saw my LinkedIn. Bet I'm finishing up my PhD, but let's go ahead and schedule the interview. I do 5 interviews. Not behavioral. Tell me about a time, technical interviews where they have you code on the fly an arbitrary problem that you're not going to know in advance. And they're sitting there looking at you and say, now you solve this in 45 minutes. Ask a question if you need it. Like that's what they're doing. It's almost like a haze. And
My fraternity is a non-hazing organization, but it's almost like a haze. And I passed all 5 of those interviews, and I have a conversation with the CEO at the end, and everything felt like Gucci. Like, I'm thinking it's smooth. He gave me his personal phone number. Everybody said they love me. They reached back out like 3 or 4 weeks later. Sorry, we're not going to be able to extend an opportunity right now due to changing economic circumstances. But we know you're going to be a phenomenal machine learning researcher in the future. And I'm like, why did y'all reach out to me, have me go through 5 interviews?
It's crazy.
And I passed all of them just for you to say, eh. So I'm like, at this point, bro, I'm like, as long as I find a way to pay my bills, like my rent, my food for the month, and ideally if I can do that for a year, I'm gonna just go all in on myself and figure out how I can provide value to the world.
Yeah.
That because that one, I'm not gonna lie, that one hurt me because I after they reached out and I learned about the product. I was really excited about the product.
Yeah.
Like, so I was really excited about. I was like, I want to work on this with you all, and they're like, nah, we good off you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Nah, bro, that's a great response though.
It's
It's
crazy, bro.
It sounds like the Facebook stories, you know, like with what's the dude name from Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg. They in a college dorm room, you know, just cooking up software, cooking. Like literally, like they not worried about nothing but Facebook.
Yeah.
And getting it,
Just go all in on myself.
getting it big. And I think I seen another video the other day where I think the founder of YouTube, there was like, yo, we have about 60 videos, and it's like, yo, it still didn't hit. It was this Asian guy, I think. And he was like, he kind of got a little discouraged, but he still kept going. And look at what YouTube is, you know, what it is now, you know. So
man,
going through that time period is always important. But my last question to close this off,
yes, sir.
you know, because we started off with saying, hey, listen, you know, for you almost knew that this time would come, but you thought it was going to come when you was probably like 60 years old.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm speaking specifically AI, you knew it was going to come, but it came way faster than you expected. So my question is, you know, now that it's here and you see the fruits of the labor, where do you think is going to head in the next 10 years from now? You know, we probably might watch this episode like, yo, like AI is actually doing this now. Like, what's your thoughts?
I have thoughts, and forgive me if they come off a bit abstract, but let's think about the notion of computation. Like, to compute something, that's what computers do. They compute numbers and they do useful things for us. AI is at a space where the notion of creating code has been commoditized. The fact that we created a website in 6 minutes instead of 6 weeks, that collapsed the amount of time it took to do effective compute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Effective compute in the sense of creating a website. I think we're going to get to a point where any idea that you want to express digitally, as long as you can clearly communicate that to an artificially intelligent system, you'll be able to create a working prototype nearly instantaneously. Now, of course, the laws of physics are going to come into place, and the electrons on your transistors have to move at a certain rate, so it's not going to be nearly instantaneously. But we're going to get to a point where you can just clearly express your thought as a non-technical person, what you'd like to create, and as long as it's on a digital interface, you'll be able to get a prototype just from speaking. And we're already there right now, but you have to go back and forth. I think we're going to get to a point where you just clearly express your intent once. It'll create it.
Okay.
That's dope.
And that's just the start.
Yeah.
And what that does is it frees you up. It frees you up to think about things that I think are worth thinking about. I don't know what those things are because most of the things I think about are math and computer science. But for people who aren't in this space, well, actually, I don't know what those. All I think about is math and computer science and health and wellness.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nah, this was a great episode, man.
Definitely was.
And before we wrap up, I do got to mention, you definitely was one of the first students in the One Podcast Way University.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you took on the opportunity and you know, to have you here in person. Definitely, it definitely was great. Definitely want your take on some of the things you learned while being in the university. You know, how it helped you. You came on the podcast, you killed it. As you guys can see, he came on, he definitely killed it. I feel like this one, the people are gonna resonate with. So Like, just tell the people a little bit about what you learned.
Yeah.
You know, some of the benefits that you got from the program.
The first thing I learned primarily is I make too many excuses when it comes to making content, because I think content is a hard thing for me. Although implementation wise, it can't be harder than doing AI. If I get real with myself. So one of the things that you have to think about, or one of the things you taught me to think about, is when you're doing things that you're typically doing, have a camera up, record the things that you're doing that you already know how to do well, and create content around that. I still don't have my content strategy put together, and I'm in AI, so I should probably use AI to create it. I'm bullshitting if I have to be quite transparent. Another thing that I like, so I just got on your school, so that community is still being built, but I haven't gone through all the videos yet.
Yeah.
But this notion of creating viral content and how one viral piece of content can actually change your life, not because the content was viral and you attracted all of these eyes, but if you actually provide value, you have something that's of service to people. And then you have a viral piece of content around that thing that links to things that actually provide value to people. That's the thing that can change your life. And it made me think about social media differently. I was telling my buddy, I think social media is stupid. Like literally a year ago. I was like, I think it's stupid. But now after working with you all, I have a different perspective. In some sense, social media is marketing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before I just thought, like, well, I'm not finna be dancing on TikTok and I'm like, well, I'm a grown ass man. Like, what am I doing, bro?
Yeah.
But you guys have fundamentally changed how I think about social media, even though I'm not acting as quickly as you'd like. Because Cody will tell you, where's that content at there? I'm like, I promise you, I'm getting to it.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited, man. You know what I mean? This right here is like, it's probably gonna content from this is probably gonna last you like a month or so.
I hope so, because it's hard.
At least. But definitely, this was it was great meeting you, bro. And definitely, I appreciate how you broke it down, the whole AI, you know, what's going on in the world. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna rock with this one, bro.
And can I ask y'all a question just before we end it, just so I can return a favor? And what made you all think about creating the One Podcast Away University? Because Armani had exposed me to your podcast.
Yeah, shout out Armani.
Shout out to Armani.
And then the first webinar y'all hosted, I hopped on. I bought it like literally as y'all were talking about it, because I'm like, this is so new to me, and I'm somebody who's about action. I'm like, as soon as I heard y'all speak, I'm like, I want to work with y'all. I didn't know I was the first person.
Yeah.
I thought y'all had an existing, like the way you, I thought, I swear to God, I thought y'all had something already established. Like, of course, the thought was established, but I thought I'm about to be like the 100 student, the 200 student. You like, congratulations, there. Yeah. He like, we got his ass.
Nah, but to think about it, bro, it goes back to you know, for example, Armani, you know, shout out to Armani. That's how, you know, we met. It literally takes one podcast. You know what I mean? Like it only takes one. And for example, Armani, it was one for him. He came on the show, and you know, he gave game just like how you gave game. Yeah. He gave value just like how you gave value. And literally that one podcast, literally the month later, he was able to make $20,000 in his business. Yeah. So it literally just takes one podcast. You know what I mean? It may not be your first podcast that you record. It may not be the 10th one, but it just takes one. Like it really just takes one for you to really, really hit. And that's where it kind of came up. But we didn't have too many success stories for us to not have it. You know. Yeah. So you want to share?
Yeah, and then also just to add is like, you know, when we first started, you know, a lot of people's like, how the hell y'all grew so fast? Like me and Cody, it's been like a two-man business, and you know, we were able to grow like exponentially. Like, so a lot of people's looking at, what the hell are these guys doing that's working for them? Yeah, you know, I've been podcasting for 5 years, 8 years, and these dudes they blown past us. So we just realized the power of podcasting early on. People come on our show, you know, they'll speak, and these are people who, they might not be the best at content. They might not be, but they're able to, like for example, like you know, you're able to sit down and have a conversation.
I'm just messing with you.
But they're able to sit down and have a conversation, and you know, you're like, whoa, like this person knows a lot more than you would even think. Like, you know, so a lot of people come on, they give value. And that's one thing we emphasize with our content. A lot of people like coming on our shows because people get value from the content. So we learned that value content is the best way to market yourself online.
Got it.
So yeah, definitely like we realized that early on. So then we like, yo, if we could go out and teach people this, because most people still don't know this. They still go on podcasts for fun, and it's cool. You could do that, but
that makes sense.
it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of people that you can reach if you just are able to say the right things. Not just podcasting, but content.
Yeah.
All of these things. It helps nurture your target audience.
Yeah,
exactly.
And brings you traffic as well. So it was like, yo, we got to teach this. We got to teach this game. And we started not too long ago.
Yeah.
But we already getting some client success, and more is going to come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely gonna take over 2026 for sure.
I appreciate that value content. That triggered something in me, because I put in the word value behind content immediately. I'm like, education.
Right.
Yep.
I already teach people when I'm at my university.
Yeah.
What's putting a camera up as I teach to provide you
Exactly.
free knowledge, not even asking for anything.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to teach you.
And then other people might enjoy, like they might geek out just like how
Exactly.
you might geek out from the content. Like, oh shit,
Sneaking and
That's what it
geeking.
is.
Chill out.
like, you know what I mean? Like literally, as we here thinking, I'm thinking about Jabari, bro. I'm like, Jabari, like y'all could literally talk on the phone all day, and he would geek out just as much.
Yeah,
like, literally. But yeah, man. That's how we started One Podcast Away University.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But yeah, bro. But yeah, man, this was an amazing podcast, bro.
Sure.
Appreciate you for coming through. Tell the people how can they find you, and we can close off from there.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at The Real AI King, thereal.ai.king. You can find me at Darian.ai if you want to book an assessment. I created a discount code for this particular session, so it's going to be 26% off of the first 26 people. So whether you want to book the mini audit or you want to go with the full AI command center build out, the first 26 people get 26% off. And I'm going to be on YouTube pretty soon, because I'm the first student in One Podcast Away University.
Let's go,
If I don't put that value content out there, they might kick me out of the university. So I'm trying to get a 4.0. That's where you can find me.
Okay. All right, cool, man. So again, you guys, this was an amazing episode. Appreciate you guys for literally sticking all the way over to the end. This is amazing content. This podcast was literally jam-packed with a lot of game and a lot of value. But don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And
and tune in, guys. We out there putting out content on a weekly basis. And listen, if you are struggling with content, you don't know what to post online, join the One Podcast Away University. We're going to drop the link in the bio, as well as Dorian's, to the app, so you guys can, be technically fit, And
the discount code is motion. I forgot the mention.
Discount code motion.
Yes,
Motion.
stay in motion. Okay. But just motion. Yes.
Motion. There you guys have it. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Deuces.